also try my best to like go really up close and like whisper cover by Jeremy Crawford, and he is the husband of a best-selling author named Verity, and he hires Lowen, the struggling writer, to complete the remaining books in a successful series, but his wife Verity, she's injured, so she cannot finish it. By the way, like, I'm low-key loving the look with the glasses. I just wish it wouldn't mirror. Let me know if you, like, maybe it doesn't even bother you. And then, yes, so she arrives there, and she basically uncovers a bunch of stuff that is, like, bone-chilling, because she finds, like, a manuscript, but I'm not gonna tell you anything more, because we're gonna get straight into it, so... Normally I have to always, like, the way that I like to read is I take a pen and I underline all the stuff that I think is interesting, but we're not doing that. Okay, I'm gonna get into it. Oh my gosh, it starts like, it already starts very... Okay, city 10 years ago. People like me belong in overpopulated cities. The state of my life is irrelevant to the place this size. There are far more people here with stories more pitiful than mine. Okay, now I think we're getting into the actual story. I'm actually surprised how thin this book is. Here I am, invisible, unimportant. Manhattan is too crowded to give a shit about me, and I love her for it. I'm loving the crisp whispers, by the way. I hope you like it too. I look up at a man as he touches my arm and scans my shirt. Deep concern is embedded in his expression as he looks me up and down, assessing me for injuries. I can tell by his reaction that he isn't one of the hardened New Yorkers. He might live here now, but wherever he is from, it's a place that didn't completely beat the empathy out of him. Are you hurt? The stranger repeats, looking me in the eye this time. No, it's not my blood. I was standing near him when I stopped speaking. I just saw a man die. I was so close to him. His blood is on me. I moved to the city to be invisible, but I am certainly not impenetrable. It's something I've been working on, attempting to become as hardened as the concrete beneath my feet. It hasn't been working out so well. I can feel everything I just witnessed settling in my stomach. I cover my mouth with my hand, but it pulls away quickly when I start to feel something sticky on my lips. More blood. Okay, everybody that loves thrillers is probably gonna like this book. I look down at my shirt. So much blood, none of it mine. I pinch at my shirt and pull it away from my chest, but it sticks to my skin in spots where the blood splatters are beginning to dry. I think I need water. I'm starting to feel lightheaded. I want to rub my forehead, pinch my nose, but I'm scared to touch myself. I look up at the man still gripping my arm. Is it on my face? I ask him. He presses his lips together and then darts his eyes away, scanning the street around us. He gestures toward a coffee shop a few doors down. They'll have a bathroom, he says, pressing his hand against the small of my back as he leads me in that direction. I look across the street at the Bantam Press building I was headed to before the accident. I was so close. By the way, this is the heater. We have a pallet heater, so if you're hearing any noise like that, that's why. Sorry about that. I hope it's not too bothersome. I was so close, 15, 20 feet away from a meeting I desperately needed to be in. I wonder how close the man who just died was from his destination. The stranger holds the door open for me when we reach the coffee shop. A woman carrying a coffee in each hand attempts to squeeze past me through the doorway until she sees my shirt. She scurries backward to get away from me, allowing us both to enter the building. I move toward the woman's restroom, but the door is locked. The man pushes the door to the men's restroom and motions for me to follow him. He doesn't lock the door behind us as he walks to the sink and turns on the water. I look in the mirror, relieved to see that it isn't as bad as I'd feared. There are a few spatters of blood on my cheeks that are beginning to darken and dry, and a spray above my eyebrows, but luckily the shirt took the brunt of it. Next time I'll read you a Disney story. The man hands me wet paper towels, and I wipe at my face while he gets another handful. I can smell the blood now. The tanginess in the air sends my mind whirling back to when I was 10. The smell of blood was strong enough to remember all these years later. I attempt to hold my breath at the onset of more nausea. I don't want to puke, but I want this shirt off me now. I else's shirt. Silver lining. Wow, this is sarcastic. I take my wet shirt out of the sink and accept there's no saving it. I toss it in the trash can, then grip the sink and stare at my reflection. Two tired, empty eyes stare back at me. The horror of what I've just witnessed have darkened the hazel to a murky brown. I wrap my cheeks with the heels of my hands to inspire color. To no avail, I look like death. I lean against the wall, turning away from the mirror. The man is wadding up his tie. He shoves it in the pocket of his suit and assesses me for a moment. I can't tell if you're calm or in a state of shock. I'm not in shock, but I don't know that I'm calm either. I'm not sure, I admit. Are you okay? I'm fine, he says. I've seen worse, unfortunately. Sorry, I had to reposition myself. I still don't have the perfect setup for filming, because I'm not sure if I can sustain this as my filming spot. But anyway, I've seen worse, unfortunately. I tilt my head as I attempt to dissect the layers of his cryptic reply. He breaks eye contact and it only makes me stare even harder, wondering what he's seen that tops a man's head being crushed beneath a truck. Maybe he is a native New Yorker, or maybe he works in a hospital. He has an air of competence that often accompanies people who are in charge of other people. Are you a doctor? He shakes his head. I'm in real estate. Used to be, anyway. He steps forward and reaches my shoulder, brushing something away from my shirt, his shirt. When he drops his arm, he regards my face for a moment before taking a step back. His eyes match the tie he just shoved in his pocket. Chartreuse. He's handsome, but there's something about him that makes me wish he weren't. Ooh. Almost as if his looks might be an inconvenience to him. A part of him he doesn't want anyone to notice. He wants to be invisible in the city, just like me. Most people come to New York to be discovered. The rest of us come here to hide. What's your name? He asks. Lowen. There's a pause in him after I say my name, but it only lasts a couple seconds. Wow, okay, Lowen is an interesting name, right? Jeremy, he says. He moves to the sink. See, I told you it was Jeremy Crawford. The comments in between, I hope, are amusing to you. He moves to the sink and runs the water again and begins washing his hands. I continue to stare at him, unable to mute my curiosity. What did he mean when he said he's seen worse than the accident we just witnessed? He said he used to be in real estate, but even the worst day on the job as a realtor wouldn't fill someone with the kind of gloom that's filling this man. What happened to you? I ask. He looks at me in the mirror. What do you mean? You've said you've seen worse. What have you seen? He turns off the water and dries his hands, then faces me. You actually want to know? I nod. He tosses the paper towel into the trash can and then shoves his hands in his pockets. His demeanor takes an even more sullen dive. He's looking me in the eye. But there's a disconnect between him and this moment. Oh my gosh, I pulled my 8-year-old daughter's body out of a lake 5 months ago. I can already kind of see where the story is going. I bet the wife, because it said that there's a twist in the end, and I bet that the wife had something to do with the daughter's death. I suck in a rush of air and bring my hand to the base of my throat. It wasn't gloom at all in his expression, it was despair. I'm so sorry, I whisper. And I am. Sorry about his daughter, sorry for being curious. What about you? He asks. He leans conversation he's ready for, a conversation he's been waiting for, someone to come along and make his tragedies less tragic. It's what you do when you've experienced the worst of the worst. You seek out people like you, people worse off than you, and you use them to make yourself feel better about the terrible things that have happened to you. I swallow before I speak because my tragedies are nothing compared to his. I think of the most recent one, embarrassed to speak it out loud because it seems insignificant compared to his. My mother died last week. There's so much like death in this book. Okay, anyone that likes thriller, true crime, and ASMR is gonna like this. Anybody else, I will pick a different book next time. But hey, if you were thinking about reading it, now you know what you're gonna get yourself into. He doesn't react to my tragedy like I reacted to his. He doesn't react at all, and I wonder if it's because he was hoping mine was worse. It isn't. He wins. How did she die? Cancer. I've been caring for her in my apartment for the past year. He's the first person I've said it to out loud. I can feel my pulse throbbing in my wrist, so I clasp my other hand around it. Today is the first time I've stepped outside in weeks. We stare at each other for a moment longer. I want to say something else, but I've never been involved in such a heavy conversation with a complete stranger before. I kind of want it to end, because where does the conversation even go from here? It doesn't, it just stops. He faces the mirror again and looks at himself, pushing a strand of loose dark hair back in place. I have a meeting I have to get to. You sure you'll be okay? He's looking at my reflection in the mirror now. Yes, I'm alright. This book is so tense, I can feel myself getting all excited. Definitely not a boring book, I can tell. Alright, he turns, repeating the word like a question, as if being alright isn't as reassuring to him as if I'd say I would be okay. I'll be alright, I repeat. Thank you for the help. I want to smile, but it doesn't fit the moment. I'm curious what his smile would look like. Instead, he shrugs a little and says, alright then. He moves to unlock the door. He holds the door open for me, but I don't exit right away. Instead, I continue to watch him, not quite ready to face the world outside. I appreciate his kindness and I want to say more, to thank him in some way, maybe over coffee or by returning his shirt to him. I feel myself drawn to his altruism, a rarity these days, but it's the flash of wedding ring on his left hand that propels me forward. Out of the bathroom and coffee shop onto the streets, now buzzing with an even larger crowd. An ambulance has arrived and is blocking the traffic in both directions. I walk back toward the scene, wondering if I should give a statement. I wait near a cop who is jotting down other eyewitnesses' accounts that aren't any different from mine, but I give them my statement and contact information. I'm not sure how much help my statement is, since I didn't actually see him get hit. I was merely close enough to hear it, close enough to be painted like a Jackson Pollock canvas. I look behind me and watch as Jeremy exits the coffee shop with a fresh coffee in his hand. He crosses the street, focused on wherever he is going. His mind is somewhere else now, far away from me, probably on his wife and what he'll say to her when he goes home missing a shirt. I pull my phone out of my purse and look at the time. I still have 15 minutes before my meeting with Corey and the editor from Phantom Press. My hands are shaking even worse now that the stranger is no longer here to distract me from my thoughts. Coffee may help. Morphine would definitely help. But hospice removed it all from my apartment last week. seemed confused by his solitude, or maybe he was excited for his newfound freedom. I couldn't help but wonder why he was alone. Ants usually travel with an army. The fact that I was curious about the ants' current situation, that's funny that I had a dream about ants and now I'm reading about ants, was a clear sign I needed to leave my apartment. I was worried that after being cooped up, caring for my mother for so long, that once I stepped out of the hallway, I would be just as confused as that ant. Left, right, inside, outside, where are my friends? Where's the food? The ant crawled off my toe and onto the hardwood floor. He disappeared beneath the wall when Corey's text came through. I was hoping when I drew the line in the sand months, he'd understand. Since we no longer have sex. Since we no longer have sex, the most appropriate method of eye contact between a literary agent and his author is email. His text read, "Meet me tomorrow at 9 at the Bantam Press building, floor 14. I think we might have an offer." He didn't even ask about my mom in the text. I wasn't surprised. His lack of interest in anything other than his job and himself are the reasons we are no longer together. His lack of concern made me feel unjustly irritated. He doesn't owe me anything, but he could have at least acted like he cared. I didn't text him back at all last night. Instead, I set down my phone and stared at the crack at the base of my wall. The one the ant had disappeared into. I wondered if he would find other ants in this wall, or if he was a loner. Maybe he was like me and had an aversion to other ants. It's hard to say why I have such a deep, crippling aversion to humans, but if I had to wager a bet, I'd say it's a direct result of my own mother being terrified of me. Terrified may be a strong word, but she certainly didn't trust me as a child. She kept me fairly secluded from people outside of school because she was afraid that what I might be capable of during my many sleepwalking episodes. That paranoia bled into my adulthood, and by then I was set in many ways. A loner, very few friends, and not much of a social life, which is why this is the first morning I've left my apartment since weeks before she passed away. Do you not have to get groceries? I mean, I guess you could order groceries, but like, what the heck? That sounds very terrible. I figured my first trip outside of my apartment would be somewhere I missed, like Central Park or a bookstore. I certainly didn't think I'd find myself here, standing in the line in the lobby of a publishing house, desperately praying whatever this offer is will catch up to me on my rent and I won't be evicted. But here I am, one meeting away from either being homeless or receiving a job offer that will give me the means to look for a new apartment. I look down and smooth out the white shirt Jeremy lent me in the bathroom across the street. I'm hoping I don't look too ridiculous. Maybe there's a chance I can pull it off, as I'm wearing man's shirts twice my size in some cool new fashion statement. "Nice shirt," someone behind me says. I turn at the sound of Jeremy's voice, shocked to see him. Is he following me? It's my turn in line, so I hand the security guard my driver's license and then look at Jeremy taking in the new shirt that he's wearing. Do you keep spare shirts in your back pocket? It hasn't been that long since he gave me the one off his back. My hotel is a block away. Walked back to change. His hotel, that's promising. If he's staying in a hotel, maybe he doesn't work here. And if he doesn't work here, maybe he isn't in the publishing industry. I'm not so sure why I publishing industry. I just have no idea who my meeting is with, and I'm hoping it has nothing to do with him after the morning we've already had. Does this mean that you don't work in this building? He pulls out his identification and hands it to the security guard. No, I don't work here. I have a meeting on the 14th floor. I want to see. Okay, so I don't think that I'm gonna read the whole second chapter because it's quite a while, but I will read like a few more pages, and hopefully you guys are asleep by now. Of course he does, so do I say. A fleeting smile appears on his mouth and disappears just as quickly, as if he remembered what happened across the street and realized it's still too soon to not be affected. What are the chances we're heading to the same meeting? He takes his identification back from the guard, who points us in the direction of the elevators. I wouldn't know, I say. I haven't been told exactly why I'm here yet. We walk onto the elevator and he presses the button for the 14th floor. He faces me and he pulls his tie out of his pocket and begins to put it on. I cannot stop staring at his wedding ring. Are you a writer? He asks. I nod. Are you? No, my wife is. He pulls his tie until it's secured in place. Have you written anything I would know? I doubt it. No one reads my books. His lips turn up. There aren't many Lowens in the world. I'm sure I can figure out which books you've written. Why? Does he actually want to read them? He looks down at his phone and begins to type. I never said I write under my real name. He doesn't look up from his phone until the elevator doors open. He moves toward them, turning the doorway to face me. He holds up his phone and smiles. You don't write under a pen name. You write under Lowen Ashley, which, funny enough, is the name of the author I'm meeting at 9:30. I finally get that smile, and as gorgeous as it is, I don't want it anymore. He just Googled me, and even though my meeting is at 9, not 9:30, he seems to know more about it than I do. If we are really headed to the same meeting, it makes our chance meeting on the street seem somewhat suspicious. But I guess the odds of us both being in the same place at the same time aren't that inconceivable, considering we were headed in the same direction to the same meeting and therefore witnessed the same accident. Jeremy steps aside and I exit the elevator. I open my mouth preparing to speak, but he takes a few steps backward. See you in a few. I don't know him at all, nor do I know how he relates to the meeting I'm about to have, but even without being privy to any details of what happened this morning, I can't help but like the guy. The man literally gave me the shirt off his back, so I doubt he has a vindicative nature. A smile before he rounds the corner. All right, see you in a few. He returns the smile. All right. I watch him until he makes a left and disappears. As soon as I'm out of his line of sight, I'm able to relax a little. This morning just has been a lot between the accident I witnessed and being in enclosed spaces with a confusing man. I'm feeling so strange. I press my palm against the wall and lean into it. What the hell? You're on time, Corey says. His voice startles me. I spin around and he's walking up to me from the opposite hallway. He leans in and kisses me on the cheek. I stiffen. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it off for now. That was a lot, guys. That was not even 2 chapters, but definitely let me know what you thought so far. I didn't feel creeped out or anything, but definitely like there was like moments, if you want me to choose a little bit of a more chill book next time, because this book is definitely not like, it's funny because I've read Colleen Hoover books before, and I'm listening to the audiobook, and a lot of the time it's about like romance and stuff, but her writing style is actually very similar, a bit more sarcastic maybe, and a bit more like dark. Like, I can tell that this book is about to get dark. I'm very interested to see. I will also definitely let you know how I like it.